Welcome to Tanks Invest, where I talk about investing, finance, and professional development. As a recording time of exactly 5 p.m. on Eastern Time, Ethereum currently $3,750, up about close to 2% so far. As you can see clearly on the left side of the chart, the entire crypto market on the key coins are relatively flat at the moment, but still up close to about 2% respectively. The altcoins a little bit more volatile, but on the green side of the spectrum. So we'll dive into the technical fronts in a bit to see what's going on here, right? And collectively on the media front, I would say today is a relatively, I guess quantitatively, not that many active news has popped up on the media front. But if you look into it, like collectively, I would say it's leaning more towards an optimistic slash bullish side of the spectrum. A lot of news that are trivial slash non-substantive, but they do demand a relatively more of a positive signal onto influencing the market. So it seems like based on the media front, today's a relatively positive day slash not the most active day, which makes sense if you look at domestically. And also internationally, we are within the weekend, right? And we have seen based on historical observation, the weekend is typically less active among publication companies. And on the fact that today is relatively a holiday, it's the first day of January, obviously New Year's. So first, I want to say Happy New Year's to everybody. And so what we're doing right now is just gliding away, in a more of a comfortable level, resting on the resistance level that we have previously identified, right? And for Ethereum specifically, that's 3,650, which is the reason why we're just gliding, hovering away, right? We're not breaking up, we're not going down either. So before I dive into technical, let's just look into the news real quick. I'll say it is relatively positive today. The first one's on Bazinga about 4 hours. We'll talk about why this crypto trader Michael Van Der Pop, I think I'm saying his name correctly, hopefully, thinks that Ethereum could top $20,000 in 2022. So basically, what this guy is saying, based on my read on the news, and again, this is coming from the source of Bazinga, so we have to read with a grain of salt. Is basically using the Fibonacci levels that he has previously identified, looking into the historical surge. When was the last time we formed a comparable pattern of a downward wedge? And then subsequently, what's the percentage of the surge that will escalate up to, right? And basically what he's doing, he's using a comparable time frame in terms of allocating how we perform the last surge, the last bull run, in comparison to the most recent one that we are expected to have, how that will translate into what's going to be in for 2022, right? So he's basically using historical analysis, triangulate what's going to be happening based on historical performance into future prediction, right? Ultimately, it's a more of a speculative play, right? I mean, if we're going to compare this apples to apples, I don't think it's a fair fundamental methodology, knowing the fact that the ecosystem in crypto and obviously with respect to corporate adoption is relatively different. So I think in comparisons to the historical pump, I don't foresee it's going to be in a comparable momentum or in a comparable trajectory in a percentage perspective, knowing the fact that the price that we are currently at right now is demanding a higher entry price level. Secondly, there's more whales in play, so I don't foresee the volatility to be as comparable to the ones we've seen in the past, right? That's just not logical, right? It demands a much higher entry level. So for you to move the needle in a comparable fashion, it means you need even more exponentially higher cash reserve among corporate investors to pump this market. Or, not if it's not a cash reserve, it has to be some sort of sector rotation or an investment rotations from a monetary circulation front, right? So I don't really foresee that to be logical, nor within this inflationary environment either, right? As we deplete the U.S. dollar, obviously as a safe haven affectation and as a safe haven vessel, which crypto has been characterized as that historically among retail investors, that still wouldn't do it, right? So 20K possible, right? But I actually foresee a little bit less optimistic than his projection, right? Because technically that will be close to, like close to about 4x or 4.5x of a surge from here, and that wouldn't quite make sense, right? Despite us depleting right now, I think what makes sense in the near term, if we're going to surge and form a golden cross, which we are about to do so, from the level of the 41 of 70 on a preliminary perspective, as we obviously progress through these economical outlooks going forward, with the Omicron subsiding, with the obviously the crypto potential bans or further restrictions on domestic front, but also into international fronts further subsides, yeah, we will technically have more confirmatory signals from the corporate investors, and that would translate into whales buying in collectively, and that will subsequently translate into euphoria among public investors, right? So this is something that we're seeing in a slow, progressive manner. But I think 2022 is going to be an interesting one. So I do foresee some volatility in the first half, and then subsequently we should see some, surging pressure as we, circulate and rotate out of this, frankly, slump that we've been experiencing so far, right? Selling down by close by 45% from all-time high for the respective coins so far, right? So that's pretty much on the news front. The other news that I see is really with respect to another NFT transaction for close to about $500,000, more Bored Ape Yacht Club investments from a whale. So not really worth mentioning, not that substantive, is frankly just a trivial one. So respect to recording time of 5:07 p.m. on the Eastern time, Ethereum contract is $3,745, up about close to 2% so far. Again, right, we're gliding just away right now. We've been levitating the whole day. So obviously we know, right, that $3,650 is the substantive consolidation level. We need to break above the 3,850, which we know that's the next level of resistance that we need to crack through for us to go up to the 4,150, right? So interesting level for us to understand and for us to watch out for and observe. I don't foresee any more like volatility coming. I think we might see some tomorrow because of Sunday affectation, and that will start to happen somewhere around technically like 4 p.m. on the Eastern time as the international side of the house start to wake up. And that's when the morning on Monday begins, right? And that will subsequently triangulate some stir onto some media influence, which will incentivize or disincentivize people to either buy or sell, and that will translate into more movements going forward. So today is just a perfectly chill day because we are in the international holiday today on New Year's, right? So with respect to Bitcoin, it's currently about 2.5%. At the moment right now, we're basically bounced off from the previous lows of the 45,000, right? And at the moment with the 42 out of 70. So I think Bitcoin's actually not a terrible buy right now because of the substantive consolidated level that we've had so far. So I actually appreciate Bitcoin in terms of its long-term value proposition, and I think it makes sense to incur logical risk at the moment right now. Obviously, the next level we need to watch out for is for us to break above the current level and then leap up to the next level of 50,000. But 50,000 is not a substantive level, right? The real level is the 52,700, which we'll need to look out for the next leap. Dogecoin is currently up about 110% at the moment. Let me just zoom in a little bit. With a 43 out of 70, so it's not terrible, right? But again, with respect to the better level, right, which I believe, we typically like to buy on a discount, not just an okay, mediocre level. I think somewhere around like the 16 cents below would be better. Cardano is currently up about 4% right now. Anywhere from the current level to 120 is still better. I think 120 would be the level I would be ideally touching. I wouldn't really touch it right now because of the level that we're at right now. It's still relatively at the upper echelon of neutral. So it's not the best, not the worst. It's just more of a, actually more of a negative neutral at the moment. With respect to Solana, is up right now, but up because of the fact that the overall market is up, so not because of Solana is up. So anywhere from 155, 133 to 113 from here would still be the more logical level with the 45 of 70. So not the best, not the worst. Again, a lot of just mediocre levels, right? XRP right now is 84. I know XRP is a question that one of my Patreon members asked me. How do we buy XRP? I don't think it's legal, nor do you want to get into that legal trouble or that technical hurdle even on the taxational front to be incurring XRP right now. But if you are an international member outside of US, I think 78 cents is definitely a logical level for us to incur risk. We formed a deck cross recently, but you could see that the sell-off has already been baked in, and 78 cents is a logical one. So 78 to 75, all the way to 69 are still a logical level for us, right? Polkadot is up about close to 6% right now. Anywhere from 26 to below are still better level for us, and right now the 47 out of 70. Not the best, not the worst. Again, right, just mediocre, right? So I'd probably just like not touch it right now, just hold. Algorand's up about 4%. I absolutely do not like this. This is a lot of fishy activity going on. You see the jerks that we had, right? One dump and then subsequent surge up. So a lot of whale manipulations. You can see clearly on a psychological perspective, you see the outlier reforming the chart with a 60 out of 70. So absolutely don't touch this at the moment. Shiba Inu right now is at 29 below, would be still a better level for us to incur at the 47 out of 70. So again, not the best, not the worst again, right? MACTAG's up about 1%. I think we are in the death cross right now. This is just public investors holding on. I don't think this is worth our time to be incurring risk right now. We're going to sell down to firstly at the 2 level, right? The $2, which is the first level of resistance that we'll get because of the fact it's a flat number. But the real level is 175 to 143 from here. With the 56 out of 70, so not the best again, right? It's just very mediocre at the moment. AVAX up about 3%. We could see there's a gap here, so this is not a good level, not a good signal either. I think 81 to 60 to 50 even potentially would be better level. I would start incurring risk at 81. Luna is currently up about 5% right now. Just this is just more of a dead cat bounce, to be honest with you. I do not like this because of the fact that this seems like a head and shoulder. And this doesn't. This looks like a ascending triangle almost, but obviously a very preliminary one. And at the same time, we're very overbought right now, so the risk is really not in your favor at the moment. And then looking into Enron, we are at the 241. I think it's still a good level to incur risk at the moment. So out of all of them, I think Enron is actually one of those I would be interested in buying at the moment. Obviously, if you got in at the 235 like the previous days, that was like pretty much at the bottom because of the fact that how many times we've tested this in the past? We've tested this like a bunch of times at the 235. That's why we never got cracked below, right? And at the same time, we're relatively oversold. So it makes sense why taking some logical risk makes sense at the moment. In respect to risk management levels, thank you so much for some of my Patreon members. For your new suggestions onto adding more to the list of the 30 crypto assets that we have. So I'm going to keep adding those lists and keep refining those lists. Right? Obviously, this is nowhere in comparisons to what we have in the list in Patreon, but it's still in play, right? With respect to the updates, and also with respect to Enron. This is we are in between the fair and attractive levels. So I actually would think about incurring some risk at the moment right now. It seems like a dip is definitely in right now. So hopefully you guys have a great New Year's domestically. Obviously, it's already second year of the year of 2022 internationally. So you guys have a great day and a great weekend ahead. And appreciate you for your support and your love and your guidance. And I look forward to working with you guys on your Patreon. And obviously, for those that subscribe, I will dedicate my time and commitment to you guys. So really appreciate you for your just your commitment and your love and your friendship, importantly. So let's work together. It's going to be a wonderful 2022. I look forward to partnering with you guys, learning about you, learning about your life aspiration, and see how I can be helpful to you as we work on this together. And someday we are going to be, widely successful, either financially, but also pursuing your life mission, right? Which is something that I don't want you just be rich like on paper or in your bank account. I also want you to be living your life to the fullest, to be doing something that you love, maybe starting a business, maybe starting a service for people, right? For me, I don't know, I'm going off tangent now, but I don't aspire to own like a nice house or like a super nice car. I aspire someday to be changing history, to maybe have a name in like a history book for making a difference in life. right? And I just appreciate you for just joining me on this journey together. So that's it for today, for this Saturday night or evening for me. Really appreciate you. Love you guys, and take care.